Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. Antonio, we are the MCU Collective back today to talk about an excellent episode of television.
Yeah, yeah,
Daredevil Born
yeah.
Again, episode number three.
Three.
What's the name of the episode?
hmm The hollow of his hands.
Yeah, all spoilers, man. And I really mean that. All spoilers. This episode, okay, how can I say this? I think
Say it.
when they went back to they had to retool some things
hmm
and kind of make it to where they had to essentially rework the entire series.
hmm
And even more than the first episode, I'm starting to see how and where they had to kind of retool some stuff.
hmm
And I think they're doing a pretty good job of actually not making it like janky. You feel what I'm saying?
hmm
Because the funny thing is, like, okay, so Tony, is it me or like when they transition into like the man on the street type interviews,
hmm
that definitely feels like a different show.
Yes.
So, and every time they
Yes.
do that, and I like, and but the thing is, they're doing it in a way where they're being very intentional about it. The daggone
hmm
dialogue, not the dialogue, the screen changes from like regular, like 16 by 9 to like
hmm
it crunches down to just like a square,
Right. And
and
they use like the film grain.
there's a film grain on it,
Yeah.
it's a very like I'm an amateur, but I'm gonna put a little film, little digital film grain on it. I'm using a
You,
little too much,
you
like
want to know what the grain looked like to me? I don't know if you ever saw this movie back from the mid to late 90s. Remember the Howard Stern movie, Private Parts?
I do. I don't remember that like in depth though.
I'll just say there were scenes when like whenever Howard Stern went to a new city, they actually had it looked like camcorder footage of like they're at this
Yeah,
city and they have people be like Howard goes to Washington and stuff like that, or else Howard goes to New York and stuff like that. It had that grain look
yeah,
to it or whatever.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like for me, since
hmm
I do actual photography, videography, it's like
hmm
they got that film grain on like 100, and you need to back it down a little bit. Like it's like it's
hmm
too much. Anyway,
Yeah.
so but I do like how they're using that as like as transitions
hmm
essentially, and it's also oh my
hmm
god, yo. Speaking of just camera work and editing, there's one transition in this when it
hmm
transitioned from a puddle and it transitions to a puddle reflection
hmm
to the daggone like the courthouse. Oh, I
hmm
said, oh man. I said, oh, okay, okay. I see what y'all said, man. Okay, y'all cook with that one, yo. I said, yeah, I like
Um,
that. But so to get to the point, I'm sorry.
mhm.
This episode right here, man. When I mean, okay, RIP to White Tiger in the show and in real life because
Okay, yeah, yeah. We failed to yeah, you got
failed to
tongue
mention
tied.
that. It's all good.
We failed to mention that last week. The actor that is playing Hector Ayala, aka White Tiger, his name is
Kamar de
Kamar
los
Della.
Reyes.
Yes, he passed away um 2 years ago, right? Now,
Yeah, it's been a while.
2000.
Yeah, yeah. He had
He
cancer.
passed away in 2000. Yeah, he had cancer and he passed away in 2000. It says he passed away damn Christmas Eve 2023. So he didn't get the chance to see this final product here. And this goes back to you saying Rashad reshoots and things being turned changed in this. He's a pretty decent actor and he's done some stuff. And with him, spoilers, people, with him at the end of the episode dying, I think that might have got added in, Rashad, because of his death.
Yeah, I don't want to say that, but like that could have. Okay, so look. Okay, so
hmm
let's go on that track.
Okay.
Quick side note. when the directors would they asked the directors about him when he was directing, they was like, look, yo, like he wasn't well when he was shooting either. And they had to shoot
Hmm.
around a lot of that. So this the crazy sad part of the meta part of this, the pain that you were seeing in his face was
He was in
real
pain.
pain.
Yeah.
You know, like it wasn't just like I was acting, nah. He was really in pain, and they had to kind of shoot around stuff and like kind of accommodate for him, and then because they didn't know what was going on,
And this is the
so
second superhero that's been in the MCU that the actor
yeah,
died
yeah,
because of
passed away of
cancer.
cancer, yeah. Shout out Chadwick Boseman, man.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so
Yeah.
that was very, very sad, and also very, very I don't know how to say it's like he was like, look, yo, this is gonna be my last chance to be in something big, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm really glad that they what I'm saying that they acquiesced on him and that he acquiesced to himself as like, yeah, I'm gonna do it regardless how I feel. That's yeah,
Hmm.
man. That's rather
Yeah.
very very heroic of him in a sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So him dying in that episode, if they did rework that and they're trying
Hmm.
to play the angle of like the either one or two things. This is what I posted on Threads. Threads been popping too, yo. Threads has
Hmm.
been popping. The last time I said at the episode in, and I was like, look, he has two things. Either Kingpin got Punisher to do this, or is one of the phony co-opted Punisher people who did it.
I would put, I'm not a 100% person, but I would put a good chunk of my life savings down that wasn't Frank. That wasn't Frank. I think that was one of the police officers that is, I guess, the when we find out the name of this cult or whatever they are, we're gonna call followers of the P, followers of the skull or whatever. That sounded horrible. What I
It
just
did.
said. Good God, you know, followers. Never mind. I was about to say something. Followers of the skull. I think it was honestly one of them that killed off Hector at the end of the episode. And for
But
those of you,
yo,
because we're not going to go through the whole bye, because
nah,
just
nah,
let
we
y'all know what
not.
happened in the episode. He got he got he got acquitted because because of goddamn Murdock basically real the so number one, we what I said last week was the witness was a junkie drug addict. Because we saw the apartment. I said, it was Little Bear. That was very crackheadish.
You did call that. He said, yo, dude didn't looking like a crackhead. I said, yeah, he ain't had
Crack. He
nothing.
living like a
Yeah,
crack.
yeah.
Right. And we find out that he was a crackhead and they had him in hiding and everything. And he was the surprise star witness. My man got on that podium. I think he just saw those cops and was like, even if I go free, these mofos are going to kill me. And he sat there and was like, nope, nope, I want on
I
that
ain't.
platform.
He said, what's my name? My name is Bennett, and I ain't in
Bennett,
it.
and I ain't in
Hey, you
it.
know what's
He
messed
said,
up
I
too?
ain't.
Tony,
What's
you know what's
that?
messed up? They
Uh,
give your man a little bit,
a, f- a little a fix, so
look,
he can function.
give your man a little
So
fix. They
just
got
so
they
he can
got
be
they got
functioning.
him. They pulled the flim
Clean
flam
the
on
room.
the fake Punisher cops to get him to the
Uh-huh.
courthouse, and then get to the
Uh-huh.
courthouse. He be like, you know what, man? I don't know nothing about no
Uh,
platform.
platform. Only platforms I know are the ones the pimps used to wear back in the day. Shoes. I don't know
He
nothing about no
said, man,
platform.
and the only platform I know is like, what I'm saying, like people who have like large followings on TikTok and
Right. That's
Instagram.
the only platform I know. Yeah. So, he basically freaked out. It was like no, and Murdoch was pissed. And then Murdoch was like, when they reconvened with him and his partner, they was like, yeah, we about to lose this case. And he and Matt did exactly what he didn't want to be done. He says that he got Hector on the podium. You're a good man, aren't you? Yes, I am. You saved someone, didn't you? Yes, I did. He was like, because you've done it before. He was like, huh?
What,
He was
what,
like,
what
he
you
was like,
what you say now, Chuck?
what you say now? He hit the Dr. Umar. I beg your pardon.
I beg your pardon.
I beg your pardon. He says, you've done this before. And he was like, you've done this before. And
He
his
was like,
old girl was like,
"Oh my
she was like,
God."
Matt, no, no, Matt, no. He reached his bag because you are the white tiger and pulled the mask out. And you hear, and it's funny because that crowd was like, oh, tiger. And what got me was old girl was daggone old girl looked over at the investigator cop Cherry that worked for them, and he was just like, "Yeah, I got it. So yeah, I did. Yeah, hey man." He was like, "Yo, it is what it is. We had to, say whatever." And that judge was pissed. That judge was like, "You Mickey
Chambers.
50.
Now.
Chambers right now. You did what you didn't want me to do." And the district attorney was like, yo, what the F, yo? Like, he was just like, hey, man. Matt was like, hey, Your Honor, I panicked.
He said, "Hey man,
I was like,
my star witness, man, he straight lied
he
on the
straight
thing."
lied. And
You know what I'm saying?
on
Like
the
I
thing, and he tripped, and they
had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying?
right. And so basically, he played on the people's emotion by saying, like, the jurors' emotion, saying, like, hey, this is a good dude. He's out here to protect his neighborhood. They had witnesses of people that was like, yo, this dude saved my life as the white tiger. Even had police officer statements in the report. I know they was in there like, God dang, like when he did that, he was calling out the officer names, and they sitting in the crowd like,
Yep. He really, yeah. I would have been
yeah,
dead,
he
yo.
called them out. Yeah. And basically, when it came to make decision, Matt told him, like, dude, you can never be White Tiger again after this. And he was
Bro,
like,
tell
he
him.
was like, all right, he got off. He got off. I'm just give you a quick thing. He got off. King Kingpin sees this on television and is pissed. He's like, this mother right here. And so Kingpin tells little Michael Gandolfini, hey, get your girl back in here. What's her name? BB. I want to talk to her. I would do a one-on-one interview. And the old girl was like, hey
Yeah,
man, we
we
got a
can go
direct
through.
line we go to the Inquirer.
We can
Like
talk to the
whatever
Times right now. I'm saying, why are we
the
talking?
Times we got. And he says, I want to talk to her. And he get her up there and they do an interview and he basically like, listen here, he was a vigilante. This is a miscarriage of justice. And she's like, isn't that ironic? He's like, I know that's weird coming from me, but the court system didn't work.
He said, but
He's like,
even me was done wrong by the court system.
yeah. I love Mr. D'Onofrio. I'm gonna even get a lozenge, by the way, for real. And so, in the process of this happening, there's a montage going on where you see Hector back at his apartment. And by the way, his wife and daughter are there are like super excited and happy. I'm gonna tell you why in a minute why I think White Tiger can live on.
Oh
And
yeah. I'm about to say they set it up for it.
yeah, and what I'm saying, he's home, he's free. He has the amulet on. He got the uniform on. He slides the mask on.
Man,
And
said.
my man is straight out. My man is straight out. Right. Yo, my man is straight
I
out.
said, Tony,
Perusing.
I said, what is your man doing? I said, yo, as soon as he got free, he said, you know what? I'll be back to that life.
You know what? He said, you know what he did, Rashad? This is what he said. Rashad, this is what he said. He said, you know what time it is? Hold on. He said,
it's game time. It's game time.
My man said, yo, it's time to get busy, baby. Time to go save the world. It's time to go protect Spanish Harlem, wherever the hell he's at.
No. You know where he was at, right?
Where's he at?
Washington Heights.
Washington Heights. He was like, it's time to go protect the Heights. And then what made it even worse, Rashad, was this man was just straight perusing the neighborhood, just like he had his biphone walking, and he hear a scream, and the next thing you know, he go running down the alley, and Someone pops a cap in his ass, not his ass, but his head. Excuse me, real quick. Let's catch this.
Tony, now you good, Tony. The way that he got hit, I was like,
Yeah,
bruh, you ain't got
that's a
no sort of understanding of where you at. I mean, it was like, yeah, hold up, do I hear some noise? Blam!
right,
Cut to
right,
black.
and he got shot in the head, and then you see the shooter walk away, and his hoodie is unzipped, and he has the Punisher helmet. Not I say helmet, the Punisher skull. But mind you, they never show the face,
Nah, they'll
which
show no
makes me
face.
say.
Yeah,
So, at first I was like, "Damn, not Frank." That's it. Stop. Wait a minute. Frank is wild. Frank is crazy. Frank wouldn't do this.
but now
I
we
said that's one.
know. But
Uh-huh.
now we know why Frank and Matt had a confrontation.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we probably see that next episode. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
Frank say, "That wasn't me, Red. That wasn't me, Red."
It won't me, Red. It won't me. They're like, what would Karen think? It won't me.
What the hell
You
you
know.
what the hell you doing over here, Red?
So yeah, so like, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, like I said, rest in peace to the White Tiger. Rest in peace to Mr. Reyes for that. Now, what I said earlier is how this is setting up for the White Tiger to return. For
Yeah,
those of y'all who are readers of the comics or who have maybe looked ahead, his daughter eventually takes up the mantle of the White Tiger. And I thought that was interesting that they actually showed her because they
what
showed a picture of her
niece?
at first.
His
Oh, that's right.
niece.
Excuse me, his niece. They showed a picture of her at first in the daggone house,
Yeah.
and then in the apartment, and then they turned around and she was sitting in the courtroom with his wife or whatever. So I think that is how the White Tiger can live on. Now, mind you, it might not happen this season, but it could happen next season, Rashad. You know what I'm saying? Where
Hey,
they'll bring her
or
back.
just in the MCU in general. You know what I'm saying? Like she could easily,
Yeah.
she's in New York. She could easily link up with all the other, the younger New York based heroes. So it's I'm glad that they left the little
Mhm.
breadcrumbs for the people. All right, yo. So
One more thing, real quick. Who's the composer for this show? I
I
didn't
look it
see,
up.
or
I look it up. That's a good
so I'm gonna
question.
tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. So I know Rashad, you always skip it, and I normally do too. But the actual theme song for this Daredevil show, it sounds like it's the beginning of it sounds like Light of the Seven from Game of Thrones. And if y'all are wondering what song I'm talking about, that's the song on season 6 episode 10, whatever, the final season finale. And that was episode when everybody was getting ready to go to the trial for my boy, wasn't it, not for your trial for the dude, and Cersei was getting ready and she didn't, and that music was playing. The beginning of it sounds like almost like a rendition of that. So I was just wondering who the composer was.
The Newton brothers. They
Newton Brothers.
also did
Okay.
X-Men '97.
Okay. Okay.
He has the Newton brothers. So
Yeah,
basically,
that was
they're
just my.
incorporating the original theme in it, and they're doing their own spin on it. But yeah, that was the
Yeah.
Newton brothers. Who did a
That
good
was just my
job.
musical ear picking that up. That's all. I was
No, it's
like,
all
hmm,
good.
that
Thank you.
sounds almost like the light of the seven. Sorry.
Interesting. No, we're nerds. So,
Hmm.
so we got the major thing out the way, which is like, which okay. So I want to just talk about the I want to talk about. I'm sorry, because this is the funniest part of the show to me. I want to talk about Vanessa and Kingpin and their marital problems because
She is
this
pissed.
is hilarious, man. Like, okay,
Yes.
can I just say this?
Go for it.
Kingpin is a simp. He's a big
Ain't
simp. He is
he? Ain't he?
the biggest, whiniest simp
Ain't he?
ever. Not only, okay, so I'm like I don't want to be chauvinistic or misogynist. However, the fact
However.
that this big looming man let his wife cheat on him while he had his face blown up, you know what I'm saying, and had to rehab, and it's like, I didn't, I didn't, I didn't touch Adam. Like he knows the man's name,
Hmm.
knows where he lives, knows where it's about, whereabouts, and
Hmm.
all that, and was like, you know what? Like, yeah, I still want my wife, which again is a noble thing. You know what I'm saying? If you have the wherewithal to blatantly have some other man clap cheeks with your spouse, and you just be like, you know what? I
It
wanna
is what
I,
it
I wanna
is, not me.
reconcile. Hey man, go with
Hmm.
God. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, so Keisha.
Yes.
I hope you ever, because like it's a wrap, Like I'm just like, right
Go in
now, like
grace.
this
Go in
was
grace.
this was early. You know what I'm saying? This was before we
Yeah.
got married. So look, man, I just want because
Hmm.
I'm not gonna do it. It's gonna be you first, it ain't gonna be me. Just out of spite.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds horribly wrong, but that's how I thought when I was a younger man. But anyway, the fact
Hmm.
that she, and not only that, Tony, but she is like being an ass
Oh,
still.
oh, she is irritated with him.
How
Like
you cheat and still be mad?
the mere presence of him irritates her soul. And so what I did was on Instagram, you had put the you made a reel of our conversation last week about Kingpin and his darkness chasing his past, so his past catching up from he's in the dark. Someone I reposted it, and someone we know, our good guy Karim, we know from our
Oh, shout out
days in the
Kareem.
band and Office Day. Karim commented, he sent me a message said, "Hey, I'm waiting for him to have to end up killing Vanessa." He said she don't serve the same purpose anymore. When she was his motivation, he was a beast. Now he's soft. He said the show is great, and he's like saying he's hoping for a Jessica Jones cameo. Uh, I think Kingpin is going to have to off his wife,
What I said?
but I don't know if they're going to do that.
What we say last week?
Yeah,
What we say? I said,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
yo, I'm just because it would be okay. It would be very Kingpin like.
Hmm.
Because Kingpin is always like he's gonna get to the point where he feels like okay, Kingpin is neutered in a way that is
Hmm.
weird for Kingpin to be because we know the
Yeah.
relationship with Vanessa is like there's this like this give and go this like this very interdependency that they had.
Hmm.
Now it's straight. He's like straight dependent on her. And in a funny way because he must okay why is he keeping her around because he doesn't really want the underground stuff anymore. It's obvious
Hmm.
that he wants them to kill themselves out because from the beginning of the
Hmm.
episode they went then onto the docks deal going wrong. It's the hothead from the first episode and he tells
Hmm.
Kingpin's right hand man like I don't really want no money yada yada. Dude was like 1.8. Thank you. I'll take that and I'll
Right.
chill. He's like, yo, I don't want to see I don't want to talk to some lackey. I want to talk to Kingpin. And he was like, nah, yo,
No.
get what you get. And then we find out Kingpin didn't do it. Vanessa did it.
Nessa. Hmm.
So there's this like and I know his right hand man has to be in a weird place because he has to play both sides.
Yeah.
I gotta please the
And,
husband and the wife.
and Kingpin was so pissed when he was like, when he found out about it, and he was just like, hey, they was like, yo, it was a shooting in the docks, this and that, whatever. We gotta quell this or whatever. And she's like, it's been handled. He was like,
Like I
what?
did, yo.
I did. And she was like, what? She was like, I told him because of, I guess, what I'm saying, the stuff that was stolen or whatever, and I guess the people that was killed, you owe her 1.8 mil. And she basically neutered that man. And Kingpin, like I said, he's like, hey, yo, like I don't really want to be a part of that life no more. I have bigger things to think of. And she's like, what's bigger than that? And she's just pissed off. And she told him, she was like, you base in so many words, she basically said, you have let the children um the inmates run the asylum and you're being a
Yeah.
warden. She said, and she was that's basically what she said. And she's like, when you were gone, she says, I took over, everything was under control. We had all these gangs under, under control. They weren't killing each other and stuff like this. And and he's just like, yo, let them wipe each other out and we'll work from there. So yeah, them two right there. Mm-mm. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So like it's gonna bleed into what we're talking about. So their relationship and all
Mm.
this happened right before therapy. So I bet that was an awesome session that they had.
Yeah.
Also glad that that she's still alive. I don't see the world being too long for her either. Matt just gonna,
Yeah.
he's gonna have another romantic partner that leaves him again. But anyway, so here's what Kingpin's trying to do. I'm not sure what people like was thinking about this or caught it. He wants to make that area. I think they called it Red Hook. He
Yeah, the
wants to
Red Hooks, that's in
yeah,
Brooklyn.
the Red Hook section. He wants to take that area and revitalize it and make it in his own image. And I'm gonna give you the
Hmm.
parallel.
Hmm.
And this is who Kingpin is trying to be.
Who's that?
Stringer Bell from The Wire.
Oh.
He's trying to be Stringer Bell
Oh.
because he was doing the dirt, doing the crime stuff, and then he realized like, yo, I gotta pivot. I'm trying to go legit.
Yeah.
And just like we said, his past always behind him, just like Stringer Bell
Mhm.
with the Muslim, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's what
Brother
man
Muzone. Brother
brother
Muzone.
Malzone, like, yeah, the past
Uh-huh.
always gonna find you. So eventually something's
Hmm.
gonna happen where Kingpin is gonna have to, because we see like the small pieces of his past, but that whole Stringer Bell thing, that's what I thought about when he said, I'm trying to be quiet this thing, y'all paying his money. I don't need no dealings with you on that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry. The only reason Vanessa is around is because she the is the wife, and that's it. Like that has
Hmm.
like he has to have a wife because he had the wife
Hmm.
beforehand. So
Hmm.
that comes with the package deal. The whole reason why, like, why haven't your wife been visible? Why is she around?
Hmm.
Why don't we see her? And he's like,
Hmm.
like, she don't really like the limelight, even though it's real like, she hate my guts right now.
Right. Because normally a first lady of a city, whatever like that,
Very
they
visible.
have, they're visible. They have their agenda that they want, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, that they have or whatever. Like Michelle Obama's agenda was healthy eating in school. I think Melania's first, we ain't gonna go there. For Melania's Trump, I think her first go round, her agenda was supposed to be bullying, which is very fucking hilarious because of who was the president at the
What
time.
was it
But
called? Be better. Was that it?
yeah, it was like be better or something like that, like ma'am. But but yeah, and I guess you could say too, if you want to bring The Wire into this, it's like, yeah, he's trying to be Stringer Bell, and she wants to be Avon Barksdale.
Yeah, she's
She
trying
won't,
to.
she won't. I want my corners, whatever, simple. Say as simple as that. Kingpin is trying to run. He's trying to clean up the city, and he wants, and the one thing he wants that he never really fully got, and he was getting it from his wife at one point, but he's not no more. He wants to be loved. He wants to be revered. He
Yeah,
wants people, he wants people to, what it's almost like in the Penguin, how the Penguin talked about that one boss
bro.
that, what I'm saying? Remember he was like, oh man, he had the nicest car.
Because he did the
Everybody
same
was
thing
doing,
for LaGuardia. So that's a
yeah, yeah.
good connection, Tony. Good connection.
Thank you. I do things every once in a while, but that's what he wants to be revered. He wants to be looked at as, what I'm saying, almost like a demigod type character where people be like, where what they say, what I'm saying, a person may die, but their name lives on for, what I'm saying, forever in the annals. That's what Kingpin wants. But here's the problem. Vanessa. That's the big problem right there.
Yeah,
But
because
you know what I'm
she's not
saying?
trying to
Is
have none of
is
that.
Yeah, Vanessa. And then too, whenever we probably get into the second half of this series and the Muse come around. and it and that's like in one of the I think the one trailer we saw where it was like he had that conversation with Matt was like, I need the devil and I need you to be my devil or whatever, because he's going to realize that, they wilding in these streets. You know what I'm saying? They wilding. They wilding in these streets. And you can only do but so much, man. But this episode right here, yo, like for real, like they ain't have to do my dude. They didn't have to do my dude Hector like that. But that goes to show you too that Hector was still somewhat of a novice in being a vigilante slash superhero because you're supposed to know your neighborhood. You're supposed to know your block. You know
Not
what I'm
even,
saying? You're supposed to
not
know
even
the inner
that, man. But
workings.
like, you was too happy to be back free. Like you wasn't. You like
Free.
you like. Okay, so Tony, like they had a trial hella fast. Like
That was.
he went. He went.
That's the Rashad, that's the way a trial is supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be in what the Constitution. You
How
have
does
the
it go?
right
Like you
to
had the right to a
a
speedy trial? Yeah, a fair and speedy
a
trial. Is that
speedy,
it?
a fair and speedy trial. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
So
we
like he
it
got
should be taking like 3 years.
yeah, yeah, for real. Like he went to jail. It's happened like on what? Like it was like when did they say it was? It was like New Year's night.
Oh,
It was on New
New
Year's
Year's night,
Eve.
I think so.
Yeah, New
Yeah.
Year's Eve,
Uh-huh.
right? It couldn't have been no more
Hmm.
than the end of January. He was on trial. So
Yeah.
like it was very expedient because
Yeah.
the first episode we see, like Kingpin is broadcasting during Times Square during the ball drop, which is
Yeah.
like very not what a mayor would do, but it's whatever.
Also, too, they are being very auspicious and letting you know what year it is because I've never seen a New Year's celebration where there's no at least
Oh no,
2000.
oh no, because you already know
they're
it's
not they're not
you.
letting us know nothing because they're not trying to get no hits or
Ah!
nothing. I'm gonna tell you why, because I think they want to make sure like because eventually I think Daredevil is going to be a part of some of these, movies like these Secret
Yeah,
Wars and stuff like that. And they probably just want to work out the timeline thing. Kind of like what happened when we saw Infinity Stones, and then we couldn't wait for Endgame. Endgame came back up. I was like, yeah. And in the first like what 10 minutes of the movie, you see Thanos' head get cut off. You like,
what is this movie supposed to be
where
now?
where are we going from here? And then you just see 5 years later, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, because we
because
jumped
right
from
now what? Yeah, because right now they went. I think we're in the year two in the MCU movie part of it. We're like 2027,
2027 or 8,
seven.
depending on where we
Yeah,
at. Yeah, it's either 27 or
uh,
28. So more than
yeah.
likely, this is like 2027 because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, after 2019, 5 years later, 2024. So it's been around. Let's say 2027, 2028. I don't know. Either way,
Mm-hmm.
very
Mm-hmm.
ambiguous about that on purpose, and I'm glad because people would have been spotting that out, and people
Mm-hmm.
like they
Start
love
putting,
to find
trying
some
to. Mm-hmm.
inaccuracies and things just to say like, "Mama, y'all slipping." So either
Mm-hmm.
way, that's a good point. Also, shout out to the best the best side character the show has, and that is Cherry. Like,
Yeah, man.
shout out to Cherry. Yo, Cherry be doing all the dirty work. He be looking at Matt like, "You want me to do what? For when? For who?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, yo. It's like it ain't gonna be pretty.
This,
I'm gonna get it done though. Like,
that's
yo,
what you
like
want.
he's
All
like,
right.
yeah. To be honest, yo, like I know we haven't said it yet, but Cherry might be the MVP of the whole season right now.
Yeah. Clark Clark Johnson. For those of you who don't know, he also was in the final season of one of my favorite, possibly my favorite show of all time, which is The Wire. He worked at the newspaper. He was the newspaper chief and editor.
That is him.
Yeah, he was the
That
newspaper chief and
is
editor
him.
who
Yeah.
who bust that dude balls for doing the fakes. You know what I'm saying? For making up the fake story. He knew something won't up right. You know what I'm saying? Won't something on the up and up. But
You
yeah,
talking about
that guy.
McNulty.
Yeah, with McNulty. Yeah, right. With Mc, he it no he what was it? when remember the newspaper writer who basically would making up stories and stuff. It was
Yeah,
like, oh yeah,
yeah,
I talked to the guy that McNulty made up,
yeah, yeah.
and
That's what I'm
McNulty
saying.
was
Yeah,
like,
because yeah,
man, you ain't talked to that. Yeah, uh-huh. So
yeah,
yeah, so that's who
yeah,
Cherry is. Clark Johnson, whatever, great actor by the way.
yeah,
But
man. That's super dope, man.
yeah.
Like, yeah, he's doing a really good job in the season too. But nah, like this right here
Mm-hmm.
has been, I think, the best possible situation that Marvel could be in when it came to this series.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we still have 6 more episodes left, a lot of the footage from the trailer has already been shown.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing left is just the is like all the Muse stuff, but everything else has already been
Mm-hmm.
shown. I think the most janky part has already been shown too, and that was at the top of episode
Yeah.
one, which was smart.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we gotta get this out of the way early.
Get this trash
You
out
know
the
what I'm
get this
saying? Like
trash out the
we
way.
know this ain't gonna be
Yeah.
great, but we kind of got to transition to how season three ended. Because remember, he did have the little lasso effects, but it looked way better at the end of that. It was still kind of cheesy, but like it just because some comic book stuff don't translate well, but it was
So,
better
because
for the beginning.
even in that scene, he uses the little lasso thing. It's funny because he's on a rooftop and there's nothing above him, and
Tony,
and it looks like your
Tony,
old, it looked like your stereotypical comic book thing with Spider-Man with the thwip, and it even made like the thwip sound too. I was like, oh God, come on, y'all.
Nah,
Yeah.
man, nah. Like I think they're in a really good place when it comes to this series, just as a just as a series. But
Hmm.
I'm just thinking, I think that's really it.
Yeah, that's
This
really it. Only
episode,
other things they got touched on in this episode. Matt has dinner with his girlfriend after he wins the case, and he was cooking dinner at the house, and she was like, "Oh, this is how you
bro. Like,
celebrate?"
man,
And
yo,
he was and it kind of brought things back together to the first episode when Foggy had asked Josie for that particular whiskey or whatever,
yeah,
and Matt was like, almost, he says, but we had this, and they still have like bottles of that whiskey that they drank of it. And she was like, yeah, this is our thing. And she's kind of helping him indirectly without having a session kind of
bro,
deal with Foggy.
hated that, yo. I'm like,
Hmm.
because okay,
Yeah.
sorry, but my wife is a therapist, and
Uh-oh.
I hate having some. We want to have a conversation, but she
Uh-huh.
be want to break into work mode and start asking me all these like these targeted questions. I'm like, look, yo,
Shots like, save it for the office, sweetheart.
you are not my therapist. I have my own therapist. I just want to have a conversation. And Matt was like, and you could tell, like, he was like, oh, man, I know what you're trying to do, yo. And she was like, oh,
Uh-huh.
because she was so obvious with it. It's like, I'm surprised you haven't brought him up yet. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
because I know what
Yeah.
you're going to do. Like, I'm not about to sit down here and
Hmm.
go down memory lane with you. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
smash, and you trying to have me out of this whole crying. That's not
Uh,
going to work.
Right. Matt, like, look, man, you don't know. I am the F boy of the MCU. I'm just trying to
He
listen, I'm
said,
just trying to
hey,
get some
look, yo.
cheeks.
All
Yeah.
never mind. I'm about to
Ask
say something.
She-Hulk about me.
I was about to say
Ask
something
She-Hulk about me.
so out of pocket, but nah, yo, like, nah, for real. So that part, yeah, that part happened. I was like, man, get out of here. You trying to be funny, man? Like he not about to spill his guts to you. He about to
Yeah.
get in them
So that's like,
guts. Anyway,
yeah, that's about really it
that's
though, for
it.
real, that happened in this episode, man. But yeah, man, I mean, it's I like what they're doing so far this season. There are people that are complaining. I'm trying to really understand, what are you complaining about in here? I can understand some things, but sometimes I think people, like to complain for the sake of complaining, and it's just not, clicking
Yeah.
with me
For
or
example,
whatever.
like IGN talking about this episode was boring. I'm like I can't stand when like larger publications just be
Yeah.
clickbaity, man. Like come on, like
Hmm.
this episode wasn't boring. It was what it needed to be, and that was
Yeah.
the court procedural leading
Hmm.
us to somebody getting gunned down at the end of the street. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the walkway at the end of the episode. Like that, and
Yeah.
the episode did what needed to be done, and now we have the ramifications from that because this is what I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Every time Matt thinks he has a win, he really has a loss because he was so happy at the end of this because he pressed the issue, let that man be exposed, told him, say, hey man, I know
Yeah.
that I let them know that who you really are in the streets, that you are the
Mm-hmm.
vigilante white tiger. And also, do you understand that you can't be white tiger no more? And he tells
Mm-hmm.
him, like, look, man, like this is not just something I do. Like this is a responsibility. Like this thing has been like I didn't want to be white tiger. White tiger chose
Yeah.
me. You know what
It
I'm
was
saying?
me.
Like,
You know what I'm saying?
like this is what it is. Like this thing gets
Yeah.
passed down. So again, the whole reason why his niece could be later on because it is a mantle. So like Black Panther. So Matt thinking he won, and then the man that he was on trial with dies the very same day.
Same night. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah. That
saying?
night.
Like
It's
not even
wild.
24 hours.
One question that we did have last episode did get answered.
Okay.
So I guess those cops didn't get killed that tried to murk
Oh
Matt because Matt was in the bathroom
nah.
in the courthouse, and the dude came in and started talking. Matt knew exactly what it was, and he played the blind role.
He said,
Who's there?
oh. Who is
Oh, he's like, you ain't got to
that?
wear those glasses. He was like, oh, he was like, hey, and then he was like, so the blind lawyer can fight. Because my man had the black eye and everything, and he basically was trying to threaten Matt, and Matt was like, yeah, I know why you was trying to shake that man down, yo. No, this ain't gonna happen. This ain't happening type of thing. But here's the thing. I bet if that was anybody else, that officer would have tried to daggone, like, smack him around or really threaten him. He horrified after what Matt did to him and his homeboy inside that daggone junkie apartment or whatnot. And then too, you see where they was hiding the dude, and they was like, hey, we gotta make sure this dude does not testify on this. Matt heard the dude say it, and that's when Cherry and them was kind of, doing a game of passing him around to make sure that he got through safe. But yeah, so those cops didn't pass away. And then we see that there were other cops who have the mark of the Punisher. It was a black guy who has the skull on his neck. So I can't wait to see,
Sellout.
like you said, yeah, pretty much.
Hey, real
Last
quick
night.
too, before we go,
Uh-huh.
another transition that was really good. So there's a
What's that?
so at that when they were at the counseling session when
Mm-hmm.
Kingpin and Vanessa was having an argument, and she comes in, and then the therapist comes in and starts talking, and he's rubbing his hand. You see the scars on
Mm-hmm.
his hand. Then it
Mm-hmm.
transitions into Matt washing his hands with the scars on his knuckles as well. Again,
Mm-hmm.
they was they put in some work today for this episode editing it,
Yeah,
man, and I can. Good job,
I
guys. Whoever the
appreciate
editor
it.
was, we
Yeah,
we appreciate that. I know some of the people think it was a boring episode, but there's a lot of subtle
yeah.
stuff going on that I like. I was like, man, this is actually really good. Even the scene where dude got shot, it was dark, but it was well lit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't look bad. It looked
Yeah,
really. It was a really good death scene. Oh my god, it sounds horrible
yeah,
saying it out loud, but nah, it really
yeah.
was. But nah, I
Pretty
think
much.
I think we settled up, man. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
about it, man.
before we go, quick announcement, man. The Upon Further Review has a website. Go to theuponfurtherreview.com where we'll have more exclusive stuff. If you want to join and become a member, annual membership, 100 for the year. All you got to do is go there. I have several methods of payment. If you just want to put $25 down on it, because like Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, all those options are there for us. And you can definitely join and become a member where you have exclusive content. We will probably start
Yes.
to, if we get enough people to get on, we will switch our live stream to our website. And
Yep.
then later on, we'll have like a reduced edited version on YouTube. So put like this: if the membership gets up, we're gonna put all of our efforts into the site, and then we'll kind of wane what we do and kind of be very strategic about the YouTube
Mhm.
stuff. But on the site, you can request stuff. We can have
Hmm.
conversations. There's going to be like a forum. We can discuss. We have free flowing conversation, and it's just gonna be us. So we can kind of do it how we want to do it. There will be no DMCA striking stuff down. So we
Mm-mm.
can do like fully fledged videos for certain things. Like I want to really do want to do an Interstellar video, but I don't want to
Mm.
do it without showing any footage because that's a Warner Brothers movie, and Warner Brothers will
Hmm. And
strike
Warner
down
Brothers
or
does
copyright
not, they,
everything.
they do not play. They do not
Everything,
play.
movies or music, Warner Brothers Associated, they will
Uh-huh.
strike it down in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so stuff like that. Like I really want to make sure that we have build a community over there for us, man. So definitely go
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
theuponfurtherreview.com. If you see some glaring mistake or anything, let me know. I'm not a website builder, but I also am too cheap to go get one. So definitely let us know.
Yeah.
Again, the website is theuponfurtherreview.com. If you want to hit us up on email for any suggestions, that's theuponfurtherreview at gmail.com. And if you was on the live today, man, we definitely appreciate y'all. Like we had up to
Indeed.
about 10 people in
Indeed.
here at one time. We thank you all
No.
for that. I think that's it for this
Yes.
part of the show. Man, you got anything else?
No, man, y'all know what to do. Click, subscribe, share. And like I said, we gonna do this thing, and then with the website, we'll also have some exclusive stuff that's gonna be website only that we can just kick off for you guys, man. Like I said, we trying to cook over here, and
Definitely.
it ain't Thanksgiving yet. Yeah,
Nah, not at all. We cooking though, man. All
yeah.
right, y'all. Till next time.